I feel really bad, because I just realized that we haven't made a Red Wings video literally in like a week. The last time we spoke about the Red Wings was, I believe it was the video talking about the other guys who had made Team Sweden's preliminary World Junior roster. We spoke about 7 Red Wings prospects, and spoiler alert, a few of them actually had to get taken out because of, the virus sucks. But still, it's been about a week since we've actually discussed anything Detroit, and I feel bad about that because I do indeed appreciate the Red Wings fans who support this channel. I appreciate you out there, the members of the Detroit faithful community. You guys have really accepted me into your own, so I very much appreciate that. But there just hasn't really been much to talk about aside from the prospect stuff, and I guess a lot of you out there have indeed been loving the prospects, but still, there's only so much that we can go over with prospects before things start to become repetitive, unless there's a very big story, which in my opinion there hasn't really been over the past few days. But I'm making this video more as just a little bit of a check-in, because we're a few months removed now from what was the 2020 NHL Entry Draft and subsequently the 2020 NHL Draft Lottery. Plural, actually. Lotteries, I should say. And I remember the biggest part of the draft lottery and the draft process and the draft itself was a lot of Red Wings fans getting kind of upset about the overall performance of the actual lottery event. So this video is just a simple check-in. It's a housekeeping, there's no news going on kind of thing here. It's just a housekeeping kind of video where we go over, we talk about what's happened, and we ask the question, hey, are you all right now? Because I'll say it right here, first and foremost, even though I am a guy who does identify with the Red Wings fan base, I appreciate this team, I like the team, I like the players, I wasn't the most upset when Lafreniere was decidedly going to go to one of the 8 qualifying play-in losers. I was really pitiful and empathetic towards the Red Wings faithful who follow this channel because I know how much it means to you, but as a guy who was mostly just cheering for the chaos, I was like, okay, I can't believe that Lafreniere is going to a play-in qualifying loser. This is gonna be crazy. Now I have a whole bunch of other videos we can make because, hey, all of a sudden Montreal is in this conversation and Vancouver is too. I was ultimately a fan of the worst case, most super chaotic, evil kind of outcome, but for the Red Wings fans out there, I know this pissed you off. And for good reason too. We've spoken about it a ton, but the Red Wings were the worst team we have seen in the salary cap era in 2019-20. They finished off with a league worst record that was so unbearably bad. 71 games played, 17 wins, 49 losses, and 5 overtime losses for a total of 39 points and a .275 points percentage, which was last in the league by a mile. And a lot of people on the outside would say, oh, the Red Wings were so bad, they got what they deserved, man, this is what you get for tanking for Lafreniere, you guys don't get Lafreniere, you guys settle with 4th. And to that I just say, we've said it a whole bunch, you haven't been watching the Red Wings games, man. If you're saying that the Red Wings are going out here, this is their punishment for tanking, you just haven't been keeping up with the team, because, sure, Steve Yzerman didn't really do all too much on paper to make the team better, but he didn't really do all too much to make the team worse either. Making a team worse and tanking would be like trading away all your really good players and having them acquire draft picks for you instead. It would be purposefully icing a lineup that would be designed to lose games, especially if you had the opportunity to ice a better lineup, that which the Red Wings just didn't really have. They just had a team that was bad, and they didn't really do much to make it better, but they didn't really need to do much to make it worse either. They were just that bad. They had all these guys who were so good for the past 2 decades, and the Red Wings wanted to keep up that long-tenured playoff streak, so much that they sacrificed big parts of their future back in the early 2010s and the mid-2010s to keep up that playoff run. And then a lot of the guys who kept them in the playoffs started to leave. You had the Kronwalls and the Zetterbergs and the Datsuks all getting off of this team, and eventually you had yourselves what was a former shell of its previous self, where the Red Wings were just being carried by youth, young guys picked off of waivers, picked off of minor trades, etc., and it was just a very bad team overall. This wasn't a team with a star. This wasn't a team that was supposed to be good. And there's no surprise in my mind that they were last in the league for that reason. It wasn't a tanking situation. They were just that bad. So, Red Wings fans who had to endure this for 71 games, that's a long time. You know how long 71 games is over the span of a full season from October to March? Ooh, my goodness. Half a year's worth of terrible on-ice product the Red Wings fan base had to endure. And so when it came to the draft lottery, which happened like a year after the season started, you could kind of understand the sentiment there, why Red Wings fans were so upset that they ended up dropping from 1st to 4th. That's kind of why this video is being made here, just to check in with all those Red Wings fans and ask, hey, are you okay now? Because even though we didn't get Lafreniere, Lucas Raymond's a pretty good guy. He's a very good player. He's been doing his thing. We've been keeping up with Lucas Raymond and his overall progress in the SHL this most previous season, or at least not previous season, but the season that is ongoing right now. But the bottom line is, he was the guy that we got, and even though the circumstances of 2019-20 were so poor for Detroit, what you have here is what you got, and the best you can do now is to take a look at Raymond and say, yeah, this is a guy we have, and this is a guy that we're going to use, and this is a guy who is hopefully going to become an elite player for the Red Wings one day. Sure, he's not Lafreniere. Nobody can be Lafreniere. Maybe Byfield could overtake the value of a Lafreniere down the line, but still, that's not guaranteed, and none of the success of any of the other players are guaranteed either. But the best we can do is cheer for our guy. And it's that positive mentality, you know, that I think people need to focus on a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, the Red Wings GM, Steve Yzerman, wasn't really all too surprised either. I think there was a little bit of a loser's fallacy that went on here for the 2020 Draft Lottery that saw a lot of Red Wings fans kind of subconsciously fall into the trap that was believing that they would get first overall. Because they were so bad, because they were so piss poor the entire season, in some weird, twisted storybook movie kind of narrative, I would guess that a lot of Red Wings fans kind of felt, okay, because we were so bad, it's only natural that this team, the fan base, etc., they would be compensated for how poor the team was in the regular season with an Alexis Lafreniere. That's the ultimate storybook ending to what was a terrible season, right? Well, unfortunately, real life doesn't work like the storybooks, and that was kind of what we saw the entire time, because even Steve Yzerman himself came out and he was like, yeah, we are not surprised. Like, the Red Wings, if you take a look back at the 2020 Draft Lottery odds, the Red Wings had a higher chance to pick 4th than they had to pick in the top 3 in general. They had a 50.6% chance of getting 4th overall, and they did that. As for the rest of the teams, the Ottawa Senators had the highest chance of picking first overall. They're 13.5% from their pick, and the 11.5% chance from the Ottawa pick, combining for a 1 in 4 shot at winning number 1 with at least one of their picks. But it's not even Detroit who was the highest odds person after Ottawa. It was actually the play-in series loser. If you take a look at it, Team A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H added up to a total of 24.5%. 6 plus 5 plus 3.5 plus 3 plus 2.5 plus 2 plus 1.5 plus 1, that equals a 24.5% chance of first overall. So even though the Red Wings on paper had the highest individual pick chance at getting first overall, because of the whole structure of the lottery itself, they had a higher chance of picking 4th than they did at number 1. The Senators had the highest combined chance of getting number 1, followed up by that play-in series loser that ended up winning the draft. And that opens up an entirely new can of worms as to whether or not this format itself is the problem. Not Red Wings fans going out there and blaming fate for a lost opportunity at the ultimate vindication of what would be a terrible year coming true. Mostly, people are just kind of getting upset about the formula, which is something that, as a Vancouver Canucks fan, I've been pissed off about too. Don't worry. 2nd overall to draft 5th overall for the 2nd time in a row. Oh my goodness, how does that even happen? Well, it's because of the format. That's why it happens. Yeah, Edmonton. Thanks a lot, guys. So, Red Wings fans, talk to me in the comments. I want you to tell me if you're still pretty pissed off about the draft lottery and how it happened. I would be totally sympathetic if the answer is yes, but I just want to get a little bit of a question mark out there because we are a few months removed from the draft. Lucas Raymond is doing some pretty good things, and I'm just kind of wondering if the sentiment from the fan base is the same today than it was a few months ago. Even though the results haven't really been all too different, it's just a little bit of healing time has been put into place, I would say. So tell me in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. So that's Rolls 99, and bye.